Hi, I'm State Representative Norma Smith, representing the 10th Legislative District. Thanks so much for your trust and the privilege of representing you and your family in Olympia. I'm honored to work with you on the issues that are so important to our communities. I want to thank everyone who attended the Ferry meeting in Langley that I hosted on February 28th. More than 250 people came to voice their concerns and to find out more about Washington State Ferry's proposed long-range plans, including the idea of a reservation system. Your voice was clear. This is no time for a reservation system on the Mukilteo Clinton Ferry. We have far greater priorities, and we need to begin by building boats. I'm going through the surveys filled out at the meeting personally and can assure you that through your emails, our meeting on the 28th, and with the feedback forms I received, I am hearing your concerns loud and clear. I hope the Director of Ferries has as well. There is a lot of frustration surrounding the lack of leadership in Washington State Ferries over the past several years in addressing our need to fully restore and adequately deliver service on our marine highways. In 2003, before I arrived in Olympia as your representative, money was appropriated for the construction of 144 car ferries. The building phase has not yet to begin, and 6 years has gone by. Our ferries are the lifeline for goods and services, people, and our Navy bases, our businesses, our communities. Less than adequate service on our Whidbey Island routes are hurting our communities and those businesses that we rely on to serve us. Emergency crews, our servicemen and women at the Naval Air Station, and those who work on the other side of the water must get to their destinations on time. The reservation system was the main topic of discussion at our Whidbey Ferry meeting. For some communities, this system makes sense, but for others, it doesn't. It's clear that this is not a system our South Whidbey communities are interested in at this time. There are too many questions unanswered. Right now, we need to focus on offering service that is adequate and dependable for those who rely on our marine highway. And we also need to make sure that we have prioritized the essential goal of building boats that will meet our current and future demands. At the meeting, I heard a lot of frustration, and as someone who's lived in Clinton and has relied on the ferry for years, I share many of the same concerns. I use our ferries to commute to work. I did so for many years in Everett, and now I often rely on the ferries to get to meetings in Snohomish, Camano, and Skagit County in order to meet with constituents. We need solutions and leadership, not more study and reports. I am committed to working in a bipartisan, cooperative way to ensure that those across the state of Washington understand how necessary our marine highways are for the economic well-being, not only of Whidbey Island, but for the state. I encourage constituents to keep in contact with me on the ferry issue. I want to hear from you as we work through these challenges. I've heard from many of you already, and I really do appreciate it. Your passion and engagement in this issue is not going unnoticed here in Olympia. On another issue, the cutoff date for policy bills and fiscal bills has now passed in the House. Many of the bills didn't make it out of their committees this year. Between now and the 12th of March, my colleagues and I will be spending much of our time on the House floor voting on bills that did make it through committee. I'm grateful for the input and feedback that I've received from my constituents so far this session. I've heard from thousands of you with your thoughts on specific bills, and I want you to know that I always keep your comments in mind as I carefully evaluate my votes on the House floor. If you ever have any questions about where a bill is in the legislative process, or perhaps my reason for taking a particular vote, please contact my office. We'll be happy to assist you in any way we can and answer your questions. As always, I welcome your thoughts and comments. Hearing from you helps me to be a more effective representative for the 10th District. My office is always available to assist you with your questions and concerns, and we can also help you navigate state agencies. I enjoy meeting with families, groups, schools, and I look forward to doing that when session ends. In the meantime, please let me hear from you regarding the solutions to the issues that impact our communities, our district, and our quality of life. My contact information will be listed at the end of this program. It's truly a pleasure to serve you. Thank you and have a wonderful afternoon.